So I almost forgot to do my reflection thing for today. But today's been alright, I guess. Well, last night I didn't get any sleep because of thinking thoughts about Jesus and then going through a playlist talking about Jesus and it's also something I'm kind of doing right now. But I'll it might be easier for me to talk about the art shit first. So I went to work without getting any sleep and it wasn't too busy, so I was pretty good. It was pretty chill. Pretty chill. After I came back home, I ordered Jimmy John's, which tasted good, and I laid down, had to get up because of inspection. That went okay. Lay down, take a nap. Woke up, I did my manual dishes. So what? Instead of doing 5 chores, like I decided that maybe 3 is better, where I can, if I can lower it to 3 chores and then an hour or so of doing shit, that'd be okay. It's 12 o'clock now, so now it's 3:20. It's March 27th, 2025 now, but this is for the 26th. So everything was mostly chill. I'm hoping that tomorrow I can go out and get money order for my bills. Well, my internet bill. Still haven't taken a shower, but so about the Jesus thing. I like I don't want to read the Bible because I tried a small part online and it is like the book of Job and holy shit. Like it was supposed to be a simplified version, but they kept the quotes the same. So there was a lot of arguing back and forth, and it may just be selection bias because god damn, that fucking argument was just between Job and like those 3 people. Like it was a bunch of like repetitive nonsense, and I don't want to deal with that again. But there's I can probably show it. show a little bit of it. Playlist, yeah. This thing. Luke Acts series by Bible Project. So they're more or less well quality videos in here. Low quality art style, animation, though it's not like it's stylized. There's not a lot of animation in it, but still like it's not like, oh, fight scene choreograph and bullshit, but it's like it works well for telling the story, like recapping shit and being like, anyway, I'd recommend watching it, but also I left some pretty cynical comments, and because there are some things I take issue with, like apparently there was some type of like, I don't know if it was like a sanctuary or something that Jesus was doing, but apparently there is an area that was supposed to be for like something sacred or something, but these couple people like disrespect the place somehow, or disrespect and dishonor God, and so apparently those guys just fell down dead. So the implication is that, you know, God didn't like that and believed that they deserved to die as punishment. And so I left a comment saying something about how I wish that would happen to me, because like when I disrespect and curse God, and how it's kind of hypocritical that he doesn't do that. It's hypocritical that he keeps me alive. So, but because what I've been struggling with mentally and kind of emotionally is the fact that people, like, what I'm facing right now about myself is that I believe everyone is redeemable, but the reason for that is because it's the only thing that makes sense to me, because if certain evil people really do deserve to die, like some other people around me have said, then it doesn't make sense for God to keep those people alive. And I have no other explanation other than these people must be still redeemable after the horrible things they've done. And it just really fucks me up. It really fucks me up how thinking that anyone deserves to die is like, where the fuck does that line come from? You know, like, is disrespecting God really more of a irredeemable offense than what Hitler did to Jews, because, you know, Hitler, it's said that he killed himself, and if that's true, then that means that would have to logically mean that God wanted him to continue to live, but Hitler himself cut his life short. And like, what's the explanation for that? You know? And what's the explanation for my continued existence? I do not have any idea for any other reason why people who apparently deserve to die, God doesn't kill them. So, yeah. And if bad people deserve to, like, it really fucks me up. Like, how am I supposed to know that I'm a good person that deserves to live when these people that apparently deserve to die are still alive? It just, everything doesn't make sense, and it fucks me up. But there's another thing in the videos that kind of fucks me up in a different way, I assume. The thing is, after the crucifixion, apparently Jesus's followers, like, supposed to spread his word and follow his teaching and stuff, and there's one person in particular, they were talking about Saul or Paul or whatever he becomes. I don't know. Supposed to be a follower of Jesus. Like, he started out killing followers of Jesus because there's so many people following false gods, and that led to a lot of terrible things. So to prevent those terrible things, he thought Jesus was a false god or prophet or whatever, and so he was just trying to prevent more of that, but yeah, by killing people. But yeah, apparently Jesus showed up in front of him, the ghost Jesus, and changed his ways, and apparently it stated in the video these guys made that it's interesting, the parallels to Jesus and stuff about his journey, and like they said something about, like, if you follow Jesus and live in the way of Jesus, dude, and stuff, then your story starts to look like Jesus' story. And so it's like, if that's like a truth that what happens, then that means, you know, like, people who are good like Jesus are apparently destined to, you know, have a shitty life of suffering. And is that what they deserve or something, or like maybe I can twist that to where I can say, you know, that I'm a bad person because I am not suffering in a similar way to how Jesus was suffering, you know? I can just say that. I can use that as leverage to say I'm a terrible person because I'm not suffering like Jesus did. If I was following the way of Jesus, my story would start to resemble his. And that's not true right now. My story does not resemble his at all. Where's my fucking crown of thorns and, you know, cross to be crucified on? Maybe if I become a good person, I can deserve that shit. Right? But, yeah. It just really fucks me up. And these are dark thoughts, and when I tried to lay down after watching videos and leaving those comments, like I felt a great darkness that scared me. But it's the darkness that's within me. I should probably have a content warning on this video somehow. But I'm assuming that I assume that the common conception of being redeemable means being a good person. And the way I see it, that's not it at all. Being redeemable doesn't mean we're good people. It just means we are capable of becoming better people. And when I first realized I was redeemable, like I haven't done any really horrible shit, but that doesn't make me a good person, you know? But the horrible shit is the darkness within me, and fucking the way I see it, the darkness within me, even though I'm not a white supremacist who particularly hates Jews, I see it as similar to the darkness that's in Hitler, where Hitler dehumanized the people he hated and would justify doing cruel things to them. And the thing is, I see lots of people doing that. Not to Jews in particular, but to people they hate. The people who've caused them pain and stuff. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have to deal with the fact I have that same fucking darkness inside of me. Always. it might not come up all the time because it's hard for that to come up when I'm having good days. But when I'm having bad days, when I first realized I was redeemable, I also realized I'd rather be irredeemable. It would be easier for me if I didn't have to deal with, like, me being redeemable doesn't change anything. I still have to deal with the fact I'm flawed. I have these darkness inside me. And I try to, you know, hide it so other people don't have to deal with it, but I still have to deal with it myself, and people will still, like, it gets in the way of the stuff I do, and that has an effect on other people. Like work. Sometimes I don't go to work because I feel like I'm too mentally compromised, and you know that affects other people. The fact that I'm not there to do my job, but and so even if it's indirectly, people still have to deal with my issues, my flaws, and if I don't keep it in check, I'd have to deal with my darkness as well, because I want my feelings to be heard, and they're fucking cynical and pessimistic and nihilistic and shit, and I feel like most people hearing that shit, it's going to affect them in negative ways. Same for me making this fucking video. For anyone who happens to be listening to this. Which is why, if any of you feel like you have to stop listening to me because it's affecting you negatively, it's understandable. Take care of yourself, please. The best you can. I'm trying to take care of myself the best I can as well. I can understand that people would not want to be around me when I'm like this. So but yeah, I'm like advocating for my death or whatever, but like, yeah, I do some good, but do good people really deserve to have to put up with the evil and flaws that's inside me? Do I really have to put up with the evil and flaws of everyone else? You know? Because it goes both ways. Do good people really deserve to put up with this shit? And even my own thoughts that it would be easier for good people if they die. Because if God, like the whole, like think of the rapture, you know, where like good people will fucking go to heaven and the people who are left is just going to have to fend for themselves or something. But like, isn't that what good people deserve? Like, if good people deserve to don't deserve suffer, then the logical thing would be for God to have them die so that they go to heaven and they don't suffer anymore. Maybe some of their choices actually fucking matter, where like they want to live because of XYZ, and God can maybe like honor that sometimes, but the logic is still there. So I grapple a lot with like the justification for anyone's existence. Why do bad people exist? Well, why do good people exist? And I have this evil tendency to make like everything to be the fucking worst case fucking scenario. And so, like, why should, even if I'm a good person, why should I have to deal with this darkness inside me? Why should our people have to deal with this darkness inside me? I don't. There's arguments for it, but of course, you know, trying to do better is harder than dying, you know? Trying to become better people, like, it's hard. It kind of sucks. Because, like, it's not easy, and there's pains that go along with it because, you know, growing pains are a thing. And so I can also understand, like, I've been this way before where fucking people don't want to improve because they're pain avoidant, and growing comes with pain. And I don't understand why it's like that, where like if we want to become better people, we have to suffer, endure pain for it. But also what the those videos, oh fuck, that's a calculator. But these videos also kind of illustrate, like, there is also like a perspective that I do not know is in the Bible or not, interpretation. And one of the interpretations that comes up time and time again in that playlist of videos is that Jesus wanted to make an upside down kingdom, where it's not on like power and dominance, it's about love and serving others, or like power isn't about making people serve you, it's about using your power to serve others and stuff. And it's kind of a interesting take on it, of just things being upside down. Because there are some things that seem pretty upside down, like, you know, how even after having terrible things done to him, Jesus is still, you know, being compassionate and praying for people and stuff, instead of for his own suffering to stop. apparently. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know because um I've also like that'd be nice, that'd be cool if he done that, but I've also heard that Jesus was like silenced for like days or whatever, and the last thing that he said before his death was something along the lines of, "Oh God, why have you forsaken me?" So, I mean, I don't blame him because of, the amount of pain that it must have went through. But it it, it is kind of backwards because we think, good people don't deserve to suffer, yet that's what happened to Jesus. Um, and he wasn't like fighting for his rights. He wasn't defending himself or something. He wasn't cursing the people who caused him pain, which everyone else would have. And I've done that before. So I'm definitely no better. And the concept of loving our enemies is also kind of upside down backwards, you know? And especially feels that way when like not many people try to do that. But yeah, there's a lot of pain there, a lot of pain everywhere. And it's, I feel like what we should do is we need to try to have a better relationship with pain. But of course, that isn't easy. But I have all these criticisms and these cynical takes on people and stuff and about life and existing. But the story of Jesus still speaks to me when it comes to the cross and treating other people and stuff. And I obviously don't see myself as a good person. And I bet if I were to say my feelings and shit, most people would agree. For there's several things that people would agree on, but like just the fact like I'm not a Christian, at least I like if I was, I'd probably be a terrible one. But just the fact that I like Jesus but kind of hate God because I don't understand why God has done some of the things that he's done, and I really would like a fucking explanation for the contradictions and shit, because like, you know, those two people that disrespected God, they fell over and died, assumingly because God made it happen. Did Jesus kill anyone? No. And it's just, it's such a weird feeling for me when, like, Jesus is apparently supposed to be God in human form, but like Jesus apparently like gives mercy because like would the person who doesn't have flaws throw the first stone and shit, but then God just ends a couple people's lives immediately from their actions, their flaws, you know? And maybe he's allowed to do that because, you know, God's supposed to be the perfect person, so he's supposed to throw the fucking first stones. But like, where does he draw the line? You know? Shouldn't God be held accountable for his actions and shit? And like, how like, it's easier to follow, it's easier for me to see Jesus as an ideal, as a good person because of that. And people say God is good all the time, but I don't want to believe that because it seems like he's not. He's done some things that are contradictory, and I would like an explanation for how those are good, or at least an apology for him to apologize for any mistakes that he's made. And it's hard, like, I would like to believe that God is flawed. If he's flawed, then it's easier for me to forgive him for his flaws. If he's supposed to be perfect, then there's nothing to forgive, you know? But because, like, if God causes me pain, like, the thing about forgiveness is fucking, in order for it to happen, someone has to hurt you first. Someone has to wrong you first. And so, if God can do no wrong, then any suffering that he makes anyone go through is just, right? So, if he lets people suffer, then doesn't that mean that those people deserve it? Because God is good all the time. Is every piece of suffering deserved from everyone? And I would, in the very least, want to argue that if anyone were to say that I'm a good person or some shit about how I don't deserve to suffer, I will. That hurts me because several things I already touched upon, and I want my feelings heard and to matter, but unfortunately that includes some tearing down everything that most people believe and asking them to explain these fucking discrepancies. And I go about them in a you're wrong kind of way, but really I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right about this cynical bullshit. It's just that if you're going to fucking tell me that this is how things are, I would like a fucking explanation that actually makes sense to me. I'm not just going to blindly believe that. Just like how Hitler blindly believed he was a good person. But, yeah, so it's a lot. I am a lot. And I have to deal with it. I have to deal with this and work with it somehow. Some fucking how. I'm a filthy creature who's trying his best with what he's got and what he is. So, really want to end this on a positive note, but I guess I don't know. Like, there are positives or something. Like, I want to treat people better. And part of that has to be treating myself better, but I still have to work on it. I still have to struggle to become better. Though I guess one small thing I can say is that oh. Okay. I got another negative thing to talk about. So this video right here, what does the Bible say about suicide? Oh, I left this comment. So they said something about how rejecting salvation is the only unpardonable sin. But I responded with, how is rejecting salvation a sin? Why should I take advantage of the unjust suffering and crucifixion of an innocent man, Jesus? Why shouldn't I suffer and die for my own sins? That would be fair, right? No response yet, but... And no likes. Which I don't even know how I'd fucking respond to likes. Probably end up ignoring it because it's just a number going up, but another cynical take. But is there not a... I understand. Oh, okay. Can I exit out of it now? Thank you. Dying room. Sick. Should be in my favorites. Should be in my history, actually. The Good Place. Yeah, so... Sound like a show I'd like? So... I'm starting to watch it. It explores themes of rehabilitation and shit, but it starts off with like they're in the good place and the main character is there was a mistake and she's not supposed to be there, but they think the person who made this little space for them thinks she did all these good things, but that's not what she did. So in order to not cause chaos and stuff that happens from her selfish deeds, she's going to have to learn how to be a good person or whatever, and like it's there's some good comedy. There's some good comedy and drama, stakes and stuff, but yeah. So that should probably help me. That should probably help me.
Again, we
I'm still trying to do my best. These okay, all right. So there's shows up every time. How does that happen? How do you get this to happen? The following content may contain suicide or self-harm topics. Viewer discretion is advised. How do I do that to my own videos? Because it's definitely something I struggle with and talk about. But, yeah. This is about as this is probably the best I can make it for now. Things will most likely get better. It can also get worse, but I'm still going to try my best. And to be a cynical fart, you know, like Jesus went through worse, so why can't I suffer, you know? But why shouldn't I? So yeah, I will. I don't know if I can want to encourage comments like, what kind of comments can people even have for this? I want to say I'm sorry for my cynical thoughts and things I've said, but I'm going to be working on it, and I encourage you all to take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.